If you are on the road to success, then there is one factor that can massively increase your chances of success. Be sure to stick around till the end of this video in order to find out. Hi, my name is Harold and welcome to my channel. In my videos, I cover millionaire habits, success tips, finances, investment, etc. I most often use my personal stories to drive home my point. If you are new here and enjoy content such as these, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed when I put out new amazing videos. Now, without further ado, let's get into this one. While growing up, I had tasted outstanding academic success. My foundation in my core subjects were good, so it was not difficult to figure out a lot of stuffs. When graduating from college, however, I didn't quite graduate with something outstanding. The reason behind this lies in the grading system. Let me explain. In primary school and high school, your performance in one session or academic year had no influence on your performance in another session. Every new session meant a new start, a new beginning. But this was not quite the case in university. In university, at least in my country, your eventual CGPA upon graduation is a cumulative of your performances since you entered university in first year. I had experienced dips in my performance over the years in high school, but I always bounced back stronger, and since the grading system was unlike that used in university, I always had a fresh start, a new slate when bouncing back. My not-so-good grades of the previous semester or session while in high school didn't have any effects on my performance output in the coming semesters. But this isn't the same in university. In my class, at the university, I probably was among the most talented students, but I was not even among the top 6 best graduating students upon graduation. I noticed that, among the top 6, only 2 of them were pure talent, at least in my opinion. The other 4 were not necessarily the most talented among us. At this point, I am sure some of you have gotten the key to success I am trying to explain in this video, and that key is consistency. All through my life, up until graduation from university, I had been consistently inconsistent. And due to the grading system in university, those semesters where I had some bad grades played a role in my eventual CGPA. What happened in my class is exactly what happens in life. It is the reason why the most successful people are not necessarily the most talented among us. For me, success comes to those who are consistent, diligent, and focused, not necessarily to those who are talented or motivated. I am not saying talent or motivation isn't important, but all the talent and motivation in the world without consistency will never get you to the levels you can reach. Being talented may get you a job, but if you procrastinate important projects and you are not consistently at your best, you will see those who are consistent climb much faster than you. You may be able to put off an assignment until the last minute and still make a good grade in school, but in business, if you carry on that habit, you will ruin a lot of potential big money projects. Let me give a good example. I am a football fan. Some of you watching this video probably are too. Let us take a look at Cristiano Ronaldo. Not necessarily the most talented player in football history, but he is arguably one of the greatest of all time in the history of the sport, rivaled only by Lionel Messi. The things that Cristiano does on the pitch, other players do too. He dribbles 4 players and scores. Not a big deal. Other players have done that too. But here is the difference. Most players have just one outstanding season in their career where they are at their very best. Cristiano and Messi, unlike most others, are at their best all the time. Ronaldinho is another footballer I love so much and in my opinion is way more talented than Cristiano, but was not able to achieve as much as Cristiano did. It may seem that I have deviated a little, but I really needed to drive home my point. Consistency is a close cousin to discipline. Ever heard about the 10,000-hour rule? The amount of time it takes to achieve absolute mastery of any skill? It would be impossible to get to that point of mastery without being consistent. Or at least, it would take an insane number of years. If you put in 5 hours, 30 minutes on a daily basis, you can achieve mastery in just 5 years. A lot of people want to get to this point, but they don't put in the work on a consistent basis. That makes all the difference, and that was my downfall while at the university. Bottom line, I decided to be consistent. And I will share my own approach in this video. At this point, it was clear to me that reading only when exams were fast approaching, or working on a project only when the deadline was close, were not things I ever wanted to do in my entire life again. So here is what I did. Step 1. I made a list of my most important short-term and long-term goals. Step 2. I made a conscious decision to be a high performer. Check out my video on high performance. Link is in the description below. Step 3. I decided to commit to daily action. I must emphasize the word daily right there, because that is what consistency is all about. Sure, miss a few days occasionally, but compared to when I was in university, I am really doing a good job. Here is another tip I follow religiously. Anything you cannot put into your daily routine, you will not achieve. So, if there is any skill you want to master, if you have a certain goal in mind, then you have to do it every day. Doing it every day ensures consistency. There is nothing like, I don't have time. You have to make out time if it is important to you. Obviously, you don't want to pursue all your goals all at once. That would be counterproductive. But what you can do is to tackle them one at a time. For me, I like to take 3 at a time, just to add variety to my day, and I try to ignore all other goals until those 3 are accomplished. Step 4. I review my list of goals on a daily basis. This helps keep me on track, focused, motivated, and consistent. And that is it for this video. Do remember to leave me a thumbs up and comment if you enjoyed this video. Are you consistent with growth in subjects that interest you? And if you are not, what are the things you would love to start doing today to improve your consistency? I would love to know in the comment section below. Destination you really want to get to, but you are traveling through an unfamiliar road, it is a no-brainer to travel alongside someone who is really familiar with that road, someone who has been to that destination and is willing to help you get there. If this is the case, then why do most people navigate their careers without a mentor? Hi, my name is Harold, and welcome to my channel. In my videos, I cover millionaire habits, success tips, finances, investments, etc. I most often use my personal stories to drive home my point. If you are new here and enjoy content such as these, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed when I put out new amazing videos. Now, without further ado, let's get into this one. So, one very important lesson I learned recently is that mentors are invaluable. A lot of successful people say this, but I feel this is something you cannot stress enough. Growing up, I had a lot of people tell me how important mentorship is. But it wasn't until I had my own experiences that I began to realize the importance of having mentors. Today, in very important areas of my life, I have mentors and I try to listen to the things they tell me. I rationalize the things they tell me a lot, but I try to follow their words as much as I can bring myself to. The experience I had that made me begin to understand the importance of mentors happened back when I was in the university. I studied civil engineering and it was by no means a course that I couldn't have easily conquered. By conquer, I mean making a first-class honors upon graduation. I entered university without mentors and with an open spirit. I was just going with the flow. I lived alone off campus and I wasn't really close to any of my superiors at school. But I had classmates who lived on campus and had senior roommates who were as goal-oriented as they were and wanted to make awesome grades in university as well. Those roommates provided them with valuable advice on how to go about certain courses, how many hours on average one needs to put in every week, and in general, told them stuffs that helped them align their actions with their dreams and keep the goal of first class alive. They followed the guidance and it worked just fine. I was certainly on the same level as these other guys in terms of IQ and overall ability to make it to the top, but the differentiating factor was clear. They had mentors and I didn't. A few other factors contributed, which I have tried to cover in a few of my other videos. But mentorship was definitely one of the strong ones, and it made all the difference. By the time I started realizing that I needed to intensify my efforts in order to make first-class honors, it was almost late. Meanwhile, these guys were already in very comfortable first-class CGPA. Even if they were to stop putting in efforts into their academics, they most probably would still have come out with a first-class honors degree. I wouldn't say that all they got from their senior roommates is advice, because anyone can get advice from just about anywhere. But when you are getting advice from a source which is an authority in that area, then certainly that's an angle to mentorship. Without a mentor, one may have to make all the mistakes there are to make in a certain field before hitting success. And that could be a very long time. With a mentor, you can bypass all the bad experiences and at the same time benefit from the lessons learned by other people. A mentor shows you all the pitfalls and tells you how to make it across. Something that otherwise you would have been forced to learn by trial and error. We are talking about years of trial and error. Bottom line is, having a mentor is completely invaluable, and if you have that area of your life which is so important to you, get a mentor in that area. The good news is, like Daniel Ali always says, the people you are looking for are also looking for you. Eventually, I had to get a mentor in my field, and he was one of my lecturers while I was in university. He had completed his master's and PhD programs at the time. He is a high performer, effectively putting in as much as 16 productive hours daily. He is a consultant in my field, owns a company, and is also working as a senior engineer in someone else's company. As a result, he usually had a very tight schedule. And did I forget to mention, he is only 40 years of age, that is, as at the time of writing this script, of course. In my country, the much he has achieved so far is what most people achieve in much later parts of their careers. He has told me a lot of things about how I can push my career to the next level. His time is invaluable to him and usually advises that one should just go ahead and hit master's and PhD degrees upon graduation from university without allowing too much time in between. This may seem like common sense, but common sense isn't common practice. Jim Kwik. The things my mentor is telling me for free are the same things that a lot of civil engineers out there have to figure it out on their own, wasting a lot of years in the process, making mistakes and learning the lessons. I am by no means saying this to put anyone down. I am only trying to give you an idea of how valuable mentorship is and how you can be light years ahead of your peers by simply having one. For example, my mentor keeps me up to date with new areas of research and trending discussions in the field of engineering, what is becoming obsolete in my field, and what is replacing them. I know a lot of this information can be gotten online, but it is so much better being able to discuss it with someone who has more knowledge about these kinds of stuff than you. A mentor can tell you, if you want to make money, try here. But if you want to build and empower others, why not try there? This is free, valuable information that you would have otherwise had to figure out on the road to success on your own. A mentor gives you the lessons without you having to go through the experience. It is like having a guide in unfamiliar terrain. You would certainly do better with a mentor than without one. So choose one whose position or values align with what you want for yourself. There are a lot of other lessons I have learned on this journey to success by experience, and I am eager to share them with you in my other videos. So, if you like this video and would want to see others like it, please consider subscribing to my channel, hit that bell notification icon, give me a like, and always remember to comment or ask questions. I would certainly give a response. Lastly, I would like to introduce you to one of my online mentors. He is a young man and he is a millionaire. His name is Tai Lopez. You can read about him or watch his videos. I am certain you will learn a thing or two. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay energized. How Extraordinary People Become That Way by Brendon Burchard. This was the one book that changed my life. In this video, I would go straight to my big takeaways from this book. I have shared my experiences about moments leading up to the point when I read this book, as well as a little background information in part 1 of this video. Do check it out. If you are new here, consider subscribing so you are informed when I put out new amazing videos like this one. In his book, High Performance Habits, Brendon identified 6 habits that are not necessarily innate in everyone, but are developable through effort. Habit number 1. Seek clarity. Brendon asserts that most high performers know exactly where they are going. They are very clear about who they want to be, how they want to live their lives, and what they want to do in this lifetime. With very strong levels of clarity, you can easily tell when you are falling off track. For instance, you want to be a prolific copywriter, but you are spending all your time at the drama studio. If you are truly clear about what you want to achieve, you would be able to catch yourself much sooner than the average person. Clarity is not a day's job. It is something you continue to discover as you grow in life. So, I recommend having a journal, I recommend affirmations, I recommend using your imagination. See yourself living the life you want and feel it. Do everything it takes to ensure that you do not forget who you are, what you want to do, or where you want to go in life. Habit number 2. Generate energy. Everything in life is energy. Thoughts, emotions, everything. And the truth is, we don't have an infinite supply of it. High performers hardly burn out, and this is because they are very conscious of their energy levels. And they do what they need to do to keep the cup full. So, to improve physical energy, they exercise regularly and eat healthily. To improve mental energy and focus, some of them practice meditation, yoga, gratitude. Do what works for you. For emotional energy, they stay happy. They generate positive emotions as much as they can and decide the emotion of an environment or conversation. Most people let their environment or outcome of a conversation decide how they feel. And this is not the best way to take charge of your life. Habit number 3. Raise necessity. Have you wondered why it is easy to put off reading sessions at the beginning of a semester, but when exams are close, you are suddenly punctual to those sessions? The only thing that changed was that your necessity was raised. And all of a sudden, you realize that you just have to pass the exam. The more necessary an activity is, the more likely it is that such an activity will get done. A lot of things are a must for high performers, and this is one of the reasons they do well. They bring their best to the table. Find a strong reason why you have to accomplish a certain goal. Keep that reason in your thoughts. Even write it down. You are much more likely to achieve that goal than someone who has not identified a reason. Habit number 4. Increase productivity. Brendan said that without high levels of productivity, the possibility of success is bleak. High performers on average scored a 4.6 on this test. When I took Brendan's increased productivity test, I scored a 2.67. The entire test was a wake-up call for me. I realized that I needed to begin getting more things done every day. Not just more things, but more important things. Brendan said that research showed that high performers identify what is more important and dedicate more time and energy to that task. Habit number 5. Develop influence. This one is quite self-explanatory. If you want to be successful, you have to realize that you cannot do it on your own. Hardly anyone gets there alone. You need people. And if you cannot bring people to believe in what you do, or trust that you know what you are doing, then they won't support you, invest in you, or even give you that job or promotion. You will be in a position where you would have to do everything alone. And quite frankly, it is hardly possible to do it all alone. The people who climb to the top of corporate ladders, or run the most successful businesses are very skilled in their interaction with people and demonstrate great leadership qualities. So, if you are behind in this area of your life, now is a good time to start. Habit number 6. Demonstrate courage. High performers deeply believe in what they do, so they are not shy to say it out for the world to hear. They speak up when they need help, they ask questions, they contribute. They are not afraid to try. They are not paralyzed by a fear of making mistakes. They live their truth. And they do so courageously. Of course, it would be impossible to cover the entire content of this book in one video, so I suggest you get a copy of the book for yourself. Take Brendan's test. It is free and it is online. It changed my life and I hope it changes yours too. If you have already read the book, comment. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave us a like and share this video with your loved ones. As always, stay energized, and you want to make a difference in your life and the lives of all those around you, or if you just want to be insanely successful, then you are in the right place. Hi, my name is Harold and welcome to my channel. If you are new here and you love watching content like this, please consider subscribing and turn that bell notification icon on, so that you are informed when I put out new amazing videos like this one. So, without further ado, let us get into this one. This is the story of Colonel Sanders. Most of you will know him. For those who do not, he is the founder of KFC. He worked several jobs and failed in most of them. At age 65, he had tasted nothing but failure. But at age 88, he was a billionaire. His life changed the day he realized what he could do better than anyone else: frying chicken. The second story I would share is the success story of my cousin. He worked and failed at a couple of jobs before opening a private school, and things changed for the better. Both Colonel Sanders and my cousin found success. But it is my opinion that they found it a little late. This is just an opinion anyway. A lot of people find success at much younger ages. The question is, how did they do it? Notice that there are a lot of successful people across many fields. Therefore, I would like to infer that financial success is not dependent on which field you get into. There are successful people in just about all walks of life. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Ben Carson, Tiger Woods, Dwayne Johnson, Mark Zuckerberg and Abraham Lincoln are just a few in an almost endless list of successful people, and they are all in different fields. But something made these people stand out from the crowd, and that is why the whole world knows their names. So, if success isn't about what you choose to do, then what is success? For me, true success is defined by passion and purpose. And it is by no means the only key, but it is a very important key. Passion unlocks a lot of good stuff like creativity, consistency and maximum output. Let us go back to the list of successful people I made earlier in this video. Elon is passionate about the preservation of our species, so he is looking to one day build technology to enable man to survive on the Moon, Mars and other planets. Lincoln was passionate about creating positive change in his environment via policies. Mark is passionate about connecting people. This was the origin of Facebook. These guys, unlike Colonel Sanders, identified a goal that they are passionate about early on in life. We all know it's never too late to pursue a passion, but it feels pretty good to save yourself a couple of decades of wasted time and effort. So, here is the big question: what am I passionate about? Who do I want to be? And what do I want to achieve in this lifetime? These questions leave those who are afraid to make mistakes stagnated. And others get it answered after they have drifted far in another direction, like Mr. KFC. Some people say, to choose what you want to do in this lifetime, follow your heart. Others say meditate, ask your pastor, follow your parents' profession, focus on your likes and strengths, etc. Well, I have a different opinion, and that is read more books. My reason for saying this is really simple, and as scary as the next sentence I am about to say is, it is true. Here it comes. You don't know what you don't know. For those who follow their likes or hobbies, you obviously cannot like what you don't know exists. You cannot know if you have strengths in a certain field unless you knew the field existed in the first place. Elon Musk's dreams of space travel were planted in his mind by a novel he read when he was just a child. A novel about aliens and space travel. To those who meditate. Now, I would not rule out the possibility of a completely unfamiliar word popping into your inner vision, but most often than not, what comes is within what you already know. Another word for lack of knowledge to me is ignorance. And you want to reduce as much ignorance from your life as you can. And there is one fast remedy. Read more books. There is no way around this, and this is the main theme of this video. Read more books. You will never know how ignorant you are about a lot of things until you begin reading books. No one is as helpless as someone who doesn't know and doesn't know that he really doesn't know. That's a very horrendous recipe. Think about it this way: the most successful people in various fields and aspects of life have written books. They have condensed a lifetime of mistakes, lessons, knowledge, and wisdom into a single book, and you can consume all that info in a few days. Something that took the writer at least a couple of years to figure out. In other cases, it takes them the entirety of their career or even a lifetime. But you can download all that info in a week. Books are nothing short of a blessing to the world, and the more books you read, the more truly invincible you can become. Of course, I don't mean you can disappear into thin air, but I am sure you get the point. So, back to the analogy at the beginning of this video. Someone who has read a lot of books has a broader view and is in a better position to choose what he or she wants to do with his or her life as against someone who hasn't done a lot of reading and is just limited to what he has learned from his environment. If you are watching this video, that presupposes that you have a mobile device or laptop. This is great news because, in all of human history put together, books have never been so accessible. AnyBooks is a good app to use. It gives access to tons of books. Disclaimer, I am not a part of that company in any way, shape or form, and they're not sponsoring this video, but I have read tons of books from there. And I have been able to reduce my ignorance by quite a lot. Has any other person observed that it seems like the most successful people are people without college degrees? And a lot of entrepreneurs will even tell you that college is a waste of time and money. Let me give you my opinion on all this. Professionals focus so much in being good at their profession, they don't realize that one needs way more than that to succeed. To be successful, you gotta know a lot of things, and how to relate to people is one of them. And there are tons of books on this subject. You gotta know how to market yourself or your craft, you need to know how to negotiate, you need to understand the flow of money. B and C students have the time to learn all these other kinds of stuff, students don't. And that's why A students work for C students. Some of us are making the same mistakes that are already covered in a lot of books, and that is just sad. By simply reading books, you can avoid mistakes and learn lessons that would have cost you years to learn, but most importantly, it gives you a clearer and broader knowledge about the world, and then it's much easier to identify where it is you want to make a difference in. With vision, passion, and information, you are pretty much set up for long-term success. Let me know in the comment section below the books that made the most difference in your life. I am going to leave a link to a video in the description box below. In that video, I talked about the one book that made all the difference to me. And I am also going to cover all the lessons I learned from that book. It's a really amazing book, in my opinion. So check it out. But hey, what's the one book that changed your life? Leave a comment in the comment section. And if you haven't begun reading books, what's the area of your life you want to improve right now? Let us know in the description below. Remember to give us a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay a decorated student in high school, bagging all the major awards like Best in Chemistry, Mathematics, Further Mathematics, Technical Drawing, etc. In total, it was 14 awards, and a laptop, along with a cash prize of about $250. Upon graduation from university, however, I was almost completely undecorated. The only decoration probably being my certificate. Now, how did I move from that to this? Hi, my name is Harold, a full-time civil engineer, entrepreneur, and YouTuber, and in my videos, I try to cover all the mistakes I have made so far on the road to success, and how you can avoid them. Topics surrounding investments, finances, entrepreneurship, and much more. If you are new here, do make sure you subscribe, and click the bell notification icon, so you do not miss out on amazing content like this one. In this video, I am going to cover two very important factors of success: friends and environment. If you have not checked out my other videos, where I discussed the other factors that hampered me in my pursuit of outstanding academic performance, I suggest you check it out after this video. Link will be in the description box below. Now, without further ado, let's get into this one. Growing up, I never believed that friends or environment could influence anyone unless they wanted to be influenced by it. Life taught me otherwise. What happened was, I didn't realize that I grew up in a great environment, that I was around fewer toxic people, and that my good character and attitude towards life was partly as a result of those around me. Even when I entered high school, most school activities were well regulated. There was time for everything, including preparatory classes. If you are a conformist, then you would easily follow the school regulations, part of which was to read for 3 hours daily at preparatory classes. 3 hours a day of focused study for an entire semester gives you a good chance at really good grades. And this factor I just explained is part of what I call your environment. After high school, I moved on to college. No more preparatory classes. No more rules. You either lead yourself or be led by those around you. Like I have already said in one of my other videos, I lived off campus and my neighbors were more interested in football than academics. At night, they would gist about football and other stuffs. They were my environment. No one reads unless exams are fast approaching. And that is a terrible habit that can hinder long-term success. Picture this scenario with me. You live in an apartment along with 6 other guys who are photographers. You are very likely to learn a lot about photography without even making effort to, because you will see cameras often, you will see them shoot a video once in a while, you would see how they set up their gear, you would be introduced to their photography vocabulary. And all these things will happen to you effortlessly. Your environment in the above painted scenario is dictating the next skill you may want to learn. It is a very powerful habit to be conscious of the kind of environment you are in. Always ensure that you are in the right environment. Another example. It is a wild one, but I want to paint this picture a little bit more clearly. If you want to achieve celibacy, for example, then you would be better off living close enough to a church or a place where there are lesser number of women. That is, assuming you are a guy. Or close to like-minded individuals. Living close to a motel would be a bad idea. If you don't smoke and you have a roommate who does, it is a no-brainer that you have increased your chances of tasting cigarettes one day. Very successful people pay close attention to their environment and tend to run away from any environment which isn't conducive for their optimum performance. So, look around you. Are you where you want to be? Does your environment allow you to be who you really want to be? If the answer is yes, then that's great. You are one step closer to success. But if the answer is no, then you need to change your environment before your environment changes you. I decided to cover environment and friends in the same video because they are intertwined in so many ways. A group of friends can be your environment. Picture this scenario with me. This is John. John is a student. And he lives with 4 other students who read at least 5 extra hours at night daily, even after having very hectic days in school. John wakes up every night to find these guys reading. Now, this is Daniel. Daniel is a good student and lives with 3 other guys who love to party, gist and have a good time all the time. Daniel is the only one among them who reads every once in a while. John is more likely going to be influenced to put in a few hours of reading daily, assuming he cannot bring himself to read for 5 hours daily like his roommates. Daniel feels good about himself that he reads as much as once in 2 days and not more than 2 hours per reading session because he is around people who don't read at all. And to compound his had situation, his roommates admire his input and call him a great student, thus giving him a false sense of accomplishment. If Daniel had roommates who showed some commitment towards growth like John had, then it would be easier for him to put in more hours into his academic pursuit. Notice that I am focused on the input and not the output. Some people tell themselves, I want to graduate with first-class honors, or I want to be a great entrepreneur, and they just never put in the work required to achieve that much success. Lessons on input and output is a whole other topic and I will cover that in another video. Back to my personal story. In my class at the university, there was a group of 4 guys. They were all very close friends, and they all made first-class honors. Then, there is this other group of friends who had more interest in entrepreneurship and making money. I found myself in the second group. Before now, I usually don't choose my friends, I just go with those I meet, and this is a very terrible standard to live by. You need to be picky about the people who you let into your inner circle because they have the ability to slowly but unavoidably influence you in the long run, so it is really good to keep this fact in mind. I happened to meet this group of entrepreneurship enthusiasts first, thank God, and now even though I still deeply love civil engineering, I have also developed a love for entrepreneurship and investing, amongst other things. And I probably would not have been on YouTube today if I hadn't met them. They have influenced my aspirations, and that is the whole point of this video. You are constantly being influenced by your environment and by the people around you. Had I been a member of the group of academic gurus, sure, this channel would not be here today, but then my CGPA upon graduation from university would have looked more like a replica of what I produced in high school. With all due respect, I love my friends, I am grateful that I met them, and I would not trade them for any other group of friends in this world. But there is a subtle lesson here for everyone to learn. Lesson 1. You have to know what you want, that is, identify what it is you hope to achieve in this lifetime. I have covered this topic in another video, the link will be in the description. Lesson 2. You have to get yourself round the places and people that would facilitate that goal, or those goals, as the case may be. Like they say, stay long enough around a barber's shop and you might just get a haircut. If you stay long enough in the company of successful entrepreneurs, you might just eventually become one yourself. Environment and people are huge game changers. If I would leave you with an advice, here it is. It is a no-brainer, but people don't practice it as often as they should. And it is this. Keep friends who have the same aspirations and interests as you. And if you find yourself in a group of friends and it seems they are pushing you further away from your goals, then you gotta let them go. It may be hard, and I totally understand, but it is a necessity if you really want to get to where you are going without exhausting all the willpower in you. You are the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. Everyone uses this line, but how many of us practice it? Take a close look at your friends. Are they heading in the same direction as you? Let us know in the comment section below. If you loved this video, please consider leaving us a like. Share this video to your social media, subscribe if you haven't already. And leave us a comment in the comment section below. I wish you marvelous journey on your road to success. Stay energized.